early today. I have to go do something this afternoon, so I have to leave early too, so I decided to start early. Thank you very much, Zoe. How have you been recently? Hello, Coco. Hello, everyone. I am here. To the 4 people who are here, hello. Let's see. I think my camera's not quite right. That's a little better. Good. Hello, Nelia. Hello, Radhika. Hello, Libra. All right, everybody. Good morning. It is January 23rd, 2026. Time is cruel. And it is 9:09 a.m. here in Cincinnati, Ohio. How can you maintain your level of two different languages as a second and third language since I'm not that free for practice? Then Nelia, then you have to do do you know my theory about thinking in English and how important it is to think in English? Like that should be the main practice that you do, should be thinking practice. Okay, good. So then the only real choice you have is to try to schedule some time that you can practice thinking in all of them so that you're not changing your life, you're not scheduling any practice, but on Mondays you think in English, on Tuesdays you think in Greek, on whatever, you know? You know what I'm saying, right? Like, you're going to have to schedule some time to use the thinking practice. But you still feel, well, there are no magic tricks, really, you know? If you don't ride a bike for a long, long time, you will kind of be rusty. You won't forget completely, but you'll be rusty. So there's only one way to not get rusty, and that is to maintain a certain level of practice. She doesn't practice because she's talking about 3 different languages. She's trying to maintain her native language and 2 other languages also. So it's hard to balance many languages, but the only thing you can really do is do as much practice in all of them as you can. And I think that the most critical kind of practice would be thinking practice, just trying to make sure that you don't let it go completely, and that you schedule some time to think in each of those languages to try to maintain some level. Okay, so every day when you wake up, pick a language and then start thinking in that language as much as you can the rest of the day. That's the best advice I can give you for that. I don't think there are really any major secrets or tricks beyond that. You know? No problem. You don't practice either. Well, if you don't practice, then don't be surprised if you're not that good. Hello, lucky girl. Lakshit, if you want to learn spoken English, then you need to practice spoken English. All right? If you're new here, Lakshit, I recommend that you just stay and listen for a little while. Okay? I have about 88,000 followers here, and they follow me because I give a lot of tips, but just listen and you'll hear people ask questions that you want the answers to also. Okay? Hello, Mateo. Hello, Snowylicious. And Hilarious. I like that name. If you have questions, you should ask me. That's what I'm waiting for. Why is he just sitting here? I'm waiting for you to ask me good questions. Questions come before answers, usually. Coffee. Iced coffee. You understand everything in English, but when it comes to speaking, you start fumbling. So, Lakshit, do you practice thinking in English? Do you ever practice thinking in English? You fumble because you're not that familiar with it. It's not that you don't use it enough, so you get nervous. But if you spend time thinking in English a lot, then when you need to speak, you won't be nervous, so you won't fumble. So you need to spend more time thinking in English. Okay? That's the secret. Not translating, I mean thinking in English. Don't speak anything, don't write anything, don't read anything, don't listen to anything. Well, you can do those things too, but in this case, we're just practicing how to think using English. Think. That's right. Think. Have you ever heard that song? It's a great song. There's a song called Think by Aretha Franklin. You better think. Think about what you're trying to do to me. You better think. It's a good song. Check it out. Hello to my Indian friend with a Korean name? Is that Korean? I think that's Korean. Some intermediate level books. You mean for reading or for studying? You want some books to read, or do you want some English study books, like grammar books? For reading. Okay. One moment. What kind of books do you usually like to read, Amina? Tell me, what style of book do you like? Do you like romance? Do you like adventure? Do you like historical novels? Do you like sci-fi or fantasy? Or what do you like to read? Drama kind of stuff? You know, what's your interest? Self-development. Well, those are nonfiction. Those are not really novels for reading, but I can give you those too. But if you're looking for novels, one I'll recommend, which is just a good one that almost every American kid reads, you know, at an intermediate level, is called Charlotte's Web. By E.B. White. It's a children's story, but it's a good children's story that has a good moral, like, it's a lot, it makes you think a lot. There's a lot of themes to talk about in it. And the vocabulary in it is good. I've actually read it here a long time ago. A few years ago, I did a whole series where I read. Did we finish that book? I think we finished the whole book. reading it online here. So, yeah, but it's a very popular one. You can start with that. Another one that's usually recommended, but I think it's kind of a boring book, is The Old Man and the Sea. The Old Man and the Sea is, as Ernest Hemingway wrote it, and as he says, what is it about? What is it really about? When they asked him, what is it about? He said it's about an old man and the sea. It's, I don't know. It's a funny story that everybody makes a lot of, they make a lot of theories about what the book is about, but he himself said it's about nothing. Let me think of another book. For self-development, since you like self-development, there is a whole series of books that I think you might like called Chicken Soup for the Soul. Chicken Soup for the Soul. There's a big series of books like that, and they have little bits of advice. Let me see if I can... there's it says Chicken Soup for the Soul is a collection of 101 inspirational true stories focused on themes like love, overcoming adversity, humor, designed to provide comfort and motivation. So Chicken Soup for the Soul, there's a whole series about that I think you'll like, that you should be able to understand. Okay? How can you pronounce throw? Throw. Throw. To throw. Every time I watch a video or listen to a podcast, I come across new words and expressions, fancy ones. Do natives know all of those and get their meaning? Huda, I'm going to say... How do I say this? No, not all natives will understand all the words and fancy expressions. If you are listening to it, if you are a listener, probably you do. Because if you are a listener, then probably you know that level of vocabulary will be used, so you are able. But if you're not a listener, right? If I just choose some random person off the street and I ask them, do you know what this word means from this podcast? Or do you know what this is about? Or have you heard this phrase before? There might be some people who have never heard some of those phrases or words or things before. Sure, not everybody has an academic level of vocabulary. All right? Do I know them? Probably. In my life, it doesn't happen too often that I see or hear something that I don't know or have never seen or heard before. So I would say like 99% I think I probably do know. Maybe more than 99%. But I'm an English teacher. Well, I'm a teacher, we'll just call that. Hello, Miriam. So if you have a question, you should ask me. If you have a question, you should ask me. That is what I'm here for. Hello, Waleed. You feel the background changed? I didn't do. I turned the camera a little bit, but I didn't do anything different with the background. Hello, Romano. Good to see you again. And hello, Majda. Is red tape informal? That's a good question. Would I call that informal language? Yes, I think I would call it informal language. However, it's informal language that's usually used in a formal setting or about a formal thing. Red tape is usually what we say when we're talking about a lot of rules and regulations that are from the government, right? So when you want to make a business, and you have to do this first. Before you can do this, you have to fill out this paperwork, and you have to do this, and you have to get this license, and you have to go here and talk to this person and set up this deal. And it's a lot of red tape. The formal word would be bureaucratic rules or bureaucratic regulations, or just regulations in general. But yeah, so it's kind of an interesting thing because it is an informal phrase, red tape, but because it's used talking about a very formal thing, it's often used in that setting, right? So you might hear in a government, maybe there's some sort of a meeting on TV with the government. They're talking about something, and you might hear some of them talk about there's too much red tape. Okay, yeah, because red tape is easier to understand than saying there are too many bureaucratic regulations. That doesn't sound so good, but red tape sounds better. Red tape is something you can imagine, and you can imagine cutting it. That's why they like the idea of tape, because if you have a vision of something that can be cut, now you can get rid of it, right? That's why they envisioned it as that. Yeah. Can you use it in daily conversations? Sure, if you're talking about something that would require you to talk about red tape, sure. Why not? What's the difference between being assertive and being bold? Not much. Not much. I think that in many cases, most people would say that those are pretty synonymous. They're synonyms, okay? I think I might say bold is a little bit stronger than assertive, and bold is a little less formal than assertive. Okay, but they're roughly the same meaning. Okay, if I say he's an assertive person, I think assertive is a little bit less strong, so it's a little more conservative, right? Assertive is somebody who is willing to raise their hand and say, let's do this, or I think we should do this, right? Bold is more like when nobody speaks to Grandpa that way, but you do. That's bold, right? So, right? Assertive is more like you're just not shy. It's kind of the opposite of shy, right? It's like, I think I'll say my idea. I'm not afraid to say my idea. That's an assertive person. A bold person is somebody who might say an idea proudly that's a little bit crazy. It's like that's a wild idea. Okay, so bold is a little stronger. All right? In my opinion, I think. Okay, let's see. You read articles in Reddit to improve your English. Okay, as long as they're good articles, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, bold, like I said, is a little stronger. So if you say somebody is bold, it can be a positive thing or a negative thing. You can say, well, that was bold, like a compliment. Like, wow, okay, that was impressive. He did something, he stepped out and said, let's do this. That was bold. But then there is another way to say it. It's like, that's a little bold. Like, now you're saying, like, you stepped a little too far, I think. That's a little, you're asserting yourself too much. Okay? So I think that actually to be bold sometimes is the same as being assertive. but maybe a little stronger. But then sometimes being bold is a negative. You're kind of saying like you stepped too far. You asserted yourself too far. Okay, too much. Okay. Red color reminds me of a warning, which is why they use red tape. Yeah, that's right. It's like government stuff. It's like beware. You know, there's a regulations. They scared you in a major way? Why did they scare you? Because they were difficult? Is there any link for basic and usual dialogue? Yes. Let me see something. Yeah, here you go. This is actually from the U.S. government, if you can believe that. This is a PDF file that you can download that has everything from, let me see here, formal greetings, informal greetings and farewells, formal introductions, informal introductions, what time is it, a telephone call, can you say that again, coincidences, weather reports, ordering a meal, at the doctor's office, asking for directions, calling for help, at the supermarket, running errands, at the post office, catching up after class, shopping, transportation. It has a lot. All right? That's everyday daily conversation stuff, dialogue, samples. Okay? You want to see it? Let me show it to you. Check this out. Everyday conversations, right? Learning American English. Look at this. The whole thing right here. Look at this. Let me make it bigger so you can see. Okay, look. See all these? And over here, look. That's a lot, right? Okay, now hold on. So here's formal greetings. Good morning, Professor Austin. How are you doing? Good morning, James. I am doing well. And you? I'm great, thank you. This is my friend Emma. She is thinking about applying to this college. She has a few questions. Would you mind telling us about the process, please? Hello, Emma. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm more than happy to speak with you. Please stop by my office next week. This is formal. Okay, you're talking to a professor. You should speak like you're talking to a professor. Okay, but then they also have one for informal. Hi, Helen. How's it going? Fine, thanks. And you? Just fine. Where are you off to? To the library. I've got a history exam next week, and I need to start studying. Ugh. Oh, no. Well, I'll see you later then. Good luck. Thanks. See you later. Okay, the name of the PDF is right here. Okay. Yeah. Check out that PDF. And you know what? I don't think I have a link to that on my website, but I'm going to put one today. I'll find that for later, and I'll put it on my website later. So you can find that on my website later, too. Okay? All right. Let's see. Next question. Is bold like not speaking to someone the way others do? It can be. That's one kind of bold. Bold is always like you're asserting yourself a little too much. And sometimes when you assert yourself too much, it's like, well, let's put it this way, Miriam. When you assert yourself, you're taking a risk, right? You're risking to stick out your neck and you're saying, I want to say something, right? Now, when you say something, when you stick out your hand and you say, I want to say something, sometimes it's not good. That's when they say you're too bold. But occasionally, the thing you say is assertive, but good. It's too assertive, but good. It's like, wow, that was a brilliant idea. We didn't know that one. We didn't think of that. That's very bold. So sometimes when you're bold, and you step out and you say something, sometimes it doesn't work. And then they say, oh, it was too bold. But sometimes it does. Okay? What's the difference between calm and serene? Nothing. Serene is just a little more formal. Waleed, I can't answer those questions because I didn't read the articles, so I can't comment on something that I've never read. I have no idea what you're talking about, so my words mean nothing because I have no context. Okay, so I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. What about brash? Brash is less commonly used. And brash is always negative. I think brash would just be like a negative form of bold. He's too brash. Okay, so it's the always negative form of bold. Okay? Was I a presenter or a sportsman? No. Why? I'm a teacher. That's the presenter. I have a pleasant voice. Well, that's hopefully you do if you're a teacher. Hopefully you do, You want to listen to somebody when you're teaching or when you're studying and listening to somebody, right? You want to listen to someone who sounds good, right? I try to make my voice musical. I'm a musician, so it's about being musical. Hello, Vicky. Thank you very much. Hello, Huang. Nanch, how to develop your English language by listening first or talking. Listening is always the first part of any language. You have to think about babies. What do babies have to do? Before they can really speak, they have to listen. When they speak, when babies speak, when they're babies, do they speak words yet? No, they don't. They make sounds. Because babies are still trying to play with their mouth. They're trying to learn the sounds. So babies make a lot of weird noises and sounds because they're figuring out, how does a mouth work? Oh, ba ba bee ba boo 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 boo. So that's when babies do those sounds. That is the baby figuring out how sound works. Wow, look, if I make a buh, it makes that sound. If I make a muh, it makes that sound. They're figuring it out. Okay? So that's the speaking part, is not really speaking, it's just making sounds for babies. But what are they doing? They're listening to see, oh, that's mama. Mama, I hear. Mama is that person. And Papa is that person, right? Or whatever, right? So they listen first. Listening is always the first part of language. Okay? Thank you, Shelley. You understand English very well, but you're weak in speaking. Then Ismail, most of the time when people tell me that, I tell them that it's because you are not good at thinking in English. You are still thinking in your native language. And that means that every time you speak English, you have to translate. And that's too slow. That's why. Hello, Mickey. 早上好，这里就是早上的。晚上好，早上好。For criticizing someone, can we say she is bold? Yeah, for criticizing someone, I would say, yeah, maybe they were a little too bold. But you could also say they were a little too assertive. I think that they're about the same. I think assertive is still a little less strong than to say they're too bold. That's stronger than saying they're too assertive. Okay? How can you use in awe of something? So the word awe is kind of interesting. The original meaning of awe was actually more like scared, fear. That was the original meaning of awe. It was something that was so great and so big and so huge that it actually scared you. And that's where we get the word awesome. It is awesome. It's so big, it's so huge, it's so scary. Now the word awesome just means great. It means great. But originally, awe was like, oh, wow. Like you see something so big. Imagine if a mountain just came up in front of you. All of a sudden, a mountain just comes up. You are going to be in awe. Like, what just happened? That's awesome. Okay? Now, the word awesome changed. It went from becoming wow, so crazy, to becoming just great. That's awesome. Okay? But that's the word awe. How can you present yourself better if you don't know English well? I'm not sure what do you mean by present yourself better. To who? To whom? Online? In person? You know, who is this that you're talking to? Are you talking to your friends, to your mom, to your dad, to your teachers, to strangers? Who are you talking to? To whom are you speaking with? What's the difference between coordinating, subordinating, and correlative conjunctions? Oh, Jesus, man, glorious. I don't know if I have enough coffee to answer that one. Let me try to pull up some notes, and I'll see if I can explain it to you carefully. But that might take some thinking about. There we go. There we go. All right, so coordinating conjunctions. Those are the ones like for, and, nor, but, yet, and so, right? They connect things, right? They're just connectors, right? That's what they do. It's like blah, 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 but blah, 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 blah. And blah, 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 blah. Yet, blah, blah, blah. So, blah, 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 right? They're connectors to different ideas or points. This point, then that point, right? Okay? Then we have correlative, to correlate, okay? Those are the ones that's either or both and, okay? So they work in pairs. You have to have two of them. There's a correlation, right? So the word correlation means there's two things that somehow have connection, all right? So in this case, we're talking about either this or that, okay? Or do you like this? I like both, okay? Then we have, where's the last one? Subordinating. Subordinating conjunctions are the ones like because and although and if, okay? And they connect a dependent clause to an independent clause, which is, that's like, for example, we can go to the park if it stops raining. Okay, so there's the we can go to the park if what? It stops raining, right? Those are the two parts it's connecting. Okay? And all I did was I just typed in, hilarious, by the way, to get this answer. If you want to find this answer, just type in a search for coordinating versus subordinating versus correlative, and that will come up. Okay? Oh, let me make sure I didn't forget anybody over here. Hello, Miguel. Good to see you. And hello, Sevket. I am online and Hello Talk. Yes. And hello, Maria. Okay, let's see. Waleed, there are not many things that really scare me in this world, really. Most things that scare you only scare you because you don't know enough about them. That's what humans do. It's part of evolution. We're naturally afraid of things that we don't know about. That doesn't mean that everything we don't know about is actually dangerous. Okay? It's natural because it's evolution. We're trained to be afraid of anything we don't know about. Okay? So if I show my phone, if I went back in time and I showed my phone to somebody in the 1950s or 60s, they would be scared. They would be scared. They would be amazed, but they would also be scared. They would be like, wow, I don't know, where did you get this? Is this from the devil? Did the devil make this thing? That's what they used to do. Anything that they didn't understand, it was always just the devil did it. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but, you get the idea. So, in general, I'm not afraid of anything. There are some things I need to learn more about. That's all. I'm a lot more afraid of a tiger. That's still normal, completely normal to be afraid of a tiger. That's normal, rational thought, because you do know about them, right? How can we be natural if we have to memorize something and present it? You don't memorize something and present it, okay? So, Karam, are you memorizing? Did you memorize every word you want to say? Then that's probably a problem, all right? When I have to give a speech, there are very occasional times, few times, just rare times when I might want to memorize a speech word for word. Right? I'll write every word and I want to say every word. But that's very rare. Very, very rarely do I do that. Okay? Most of the time when I give a speech or presentation, I will use notes like an outline. So I don't have every word, I just have the idea 1, idea 2, idea 3. This is what I need to say to people. Oh, here's idea 1. Let me tell them about idea 1. I know about idea 1. I don't need to look at my notes. I just need to talk about idea 1. That's what they want. That's called contemporaneous speech. Okay, it's spontaneous. Spontaneous. They don't want you to memorize it. They want you to speak freely about it. So make a note that this is the idea I need to talk about, and then don't look at the paper and don't think of anything you memorized. Just talk about that idea. Okay? Now you'll speak freely. All right? And you can use notes, but just use like one little line that just has a few words, not an entire sentence that has every word. All right? Again, if you're looking to learn here, guys, my name is Teacher Mark. I have been on Hello Talk for more than 12 years. I have 88,000 followers here. I am a real English teacher. Here is my YouTube channel. Here is my website. And here is my blog. So Nirmal, I cannot teach you now. I can't give everything to you now. But I am here every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Lots of people come here and they listen and they study and they learn. So you can also come, listen, study, learn. Come, listen, study, learn. Come, listen, study, learn. Okay? The best way to learn English writing, right now, the best way to learn English writing, in my opinion, is ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT that you want help with your written English. Tell it you want to write for school, or you want to write a letter to your grandma. Tell it what kind of writing you want to do. Tell it what you need. Don't tell me ChatGPT is not good. I will tell you ChatGPT is great. The problem is not ChatGPT. The problem is you cannot ask it the right way. Because you don't know how to ask it, you don't get the help you need. If you know how to ask it, you can. This is why language is so important, everybody. Do you want to know the power of language? The power of language is ChatGPT. If you know language well, then you can ask it questions and it will give you great answers if you know language well. If you don't know language well, the questions you ask will be too big, too general, and the answers you get will be too big, too general, or maybe just wrong. But if you ask it correctly, it will answer pretty correctly. All right? You have the problem with the pronunciation of butter and batter. So, Hadjer, you need to open your mouth more. Watch me. That's the sound. Butter, butter, butter. It's not very big. But the that's big. Bat, batter, 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 batter. Okay? Like a sheep. Ba. Does politeness level really matter in English? Like, will you help me? Or I was wondering if you could help me, or would you mind helping me? Yeah, it does matter. Yeah, it absolutely matters. Sometimes it's the difference between someone helping you and someone not helping you. All right? If you can ask politely, excuse me, would you mind helping me for just a moment, please? I'm sorry to trouble you. The more polite you can be, the more likely someone will help you. That's the way politeness works. Okay? Normal. I have 88,000 followers here, man. It's not about you. I'm helping everybody, man. I have been here for 12 years. Don't cry. Grow up and just join. Don't cry. This isn't about you. You're in a classroom now. Okay? Did you know that? You're in a classroom. When you go to a classroom, do you just tell the teacher, hey, forget about them, just teach me? No, you don't. Join the classroom, okay? Sahel, yes, Sahel, I'm aware of what's going on there. We are watching here. Everybody is aware of what's going on. We can't really talk about it here, unfortunately, because of the rules of Hello Talk. But I will say that I do hope that everybody there is okay. I have a lot of followers. I have thousands of followers in Iran. So I hope that they're okay. I pray everything will be fine soon. But yeah. I'm just glad to see some people from Iran here. I don't know how you're able to use the internet. I'm glad you can communicate somehow. Waleed, ChatGPT is not negative for improvement. It can give you whatever you ask it to give you. If it doesn't give you anything, it's because you didn't ask it to give you anything. Waleed, you must learn how to be a teacher for yourself. Okay? So, my job as a teacher, this is my job. I'm a teacher. But what am I doing? I want to give you the power to learn so that you can go teach yourself many things. But you have to learn how do you learn? How to learn something. That's important. So now you have to learn how to teach yourself something, which means asking questions, asking the right questions. Okay? How can you make sentences? No, do not memorize. Just learn them. There's a big difference between memorizing them and learning them. Learning them is you know them. Memorizing is you're hoping you know them. Okay, and somebody said I have trouble with vocabulary. Okay, I'm going to give you an article to help you with your vocabulary. This is an article from my blog. You have to subscribe to it, so you have to go subscribe before you can read it. It's free. Free. But there is an article about learning vocabulary. Okay? There's an article there. Do I give any classes? I do, Fluent Vibes, but I'm a teacher. It's my job. It's not free. You have to pay me. And I'm sorry, but I live in America, so that's a very expensive place to live. So a lot of people cannot afford my lessons, unfortunately. Okay? But that's why I'm here now, helping you for free. Okay? So take advantage of the fact that I'm here for free now. Don't just beg me for free lessons. I'm giving them to you already. I have been on Hello Talk for more than 12 years, and I have done more than 2,238 hours of teaching here for free. Okay, let's see. Next question. You always try to be polite, but sometimes people tell you that you're too polite at work. I think that's a good problem to have, Romana. Wouldn't you rather be known as maybe too polite than too rude? I would rather be known as too polite. Okay? Okay, once again, everybody's begging me for something free. So here is something free. Now leave me alone. Let's see. And Waleed, I do want to teach you one very important thing. The word but. The word but. The word but is spelled B-U-T, right? But there is another but spelled B-U-T-T, and it's this one. This is your butt. That's my butt. Okay? Now, guess what? Why is the butt in the back? Why do you have your butt behind you? Because it's not supposed to go in front. You're not supposed to put your butt out in front of everybody. The same thing is true for the word but in English. All right? If every time somebody says something, you say but, then you're leading with your butt. Okay? All right? So you don't want to lead with your butt. All right? The word but shouldn't be used too much. If you're using the word but too much, it's kind of like you're doing this all the time. Hey, excuse me, can you talk to me? All right? So be careful with the word but. You don't want to always use the word but. All right? Don't give me a fish, teach me how to hunt. Right. Same kind of idea. That's right. How can you improve your listening, your English listening fast? Shelley, the biggest problem that you have is it's not how much you're listening. It's what are you listening to? Are you listening to things that are really good for your listening? Right? The first problem people make when they're listening is they're not listening to good speakers. They're listening to some guy on YouTube or TikTok. They like him. They think he's cute or funny, or she's cute or funny. And that's great that you think they're cute or funny. But just because they're cute or funny doesn't mean they have good language. You need to listen to people who have good language. That's what you need to do. So first thing you should do is check what are you listening to and is it good or not? That's the biggest problem. Almost everybody that I see, they're listening to a lot of things that are not helping them because it's just some cool guy on YouTube that they think is cute. But guess what? Your listening practice is not the same as your fun listening. Do you understand? If you want to listen to him for fun, that's fine. Listen to him for fun, or you think he's cute, fine. Great. But that's cute listening time, not English study listening time. Okay? English study listening time should be for people who have a great voice and will improve your English. All right? What movies or books do I advise for improving your English? Salma, I recommend any movie or book that has real life in it. Okay? Something that has real life in it about people, about friends, about work, about life, about family. Books that have things about real life will have valuable things for you to learn for English. All right? Yes, Shame, this is Palacios. Yes, this is on YouTube right now. Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah. Instead of asking ChatGPT to give me the information, asking it to... again, Waleed, you're assuming that that's the only thing it can do. ChatGPT can do anything that you tell it to do. So if you tell it to be the teacher that you want it to be, it will be that teacher for you. And then if it's not, you can tell it, hey, you didn't do what I wanted you to. Do this. You can correct it, man. So no more arguing. No more buts. No more buts, man. You have used up all your butts for today. You have no more butts left. All right? That's right. Okay, normal. You want me to tell you every answer right now, and I cannot do that because that is not how it works. If you want to learn English and you want to read and write well and speak well, then come here every day and listen to the questions and join my website and my YouTube and my blog. Okay? I can't just tell you everything now. Here's the answer. That's it. Now go. No, you have to come. You have to study. That's how it works. You have to listen. You have to follow. You have to pay attention. You have to want it. Asking for it is not wanting it. Okay? Anybody can ask for it. Doing it is harder. Okay? Is listening to Andrew Huberman's podcast good for improving speaking? Let me remind myself of who that is. I think I've listened to him before. Let me check. He's a neuroscientist, that's right. I think I'm going to say yes and no. From a standpoint of his voice, if I recall, let me just double check because I can't remember what he sounds like, but I think his voice is pretty good. It's clear. He speaks well. I just think that maybe he's trying to be a little too bold. We were talking about the word bold. Anybody who is putting themselves out in front, you can listen to them, and you should listen to them, but don't listen to everything they say, because whoever's out in front is leading, and whoever's leading is taking some risks in what they say, which means that sometimes what they say is maybe not right. All right? So almost everybody who's like the big name, right? Be careful what you listen to, because just because they're a big name doesn't mean they're right about everything. Okay? And as a matter of fact, there is some correlation, in my opinion, between the popularity of somebody and the amount of knowledge that they actually have that's correct. Usually the people who are most popular are actually not the ones who have the most knowledge. See Joe Rogan. You're welcome, Waleed. I appreciate you have great energy, Waleed, but I want you to put that energy in the right place. And if you're always looking for a but, it means you're not accepting what someone has said. And I don't want you to always just accept what anybody says all the time, but I also don't want you to doubt what everybody says every single time either. You're wasting a lot of time if you doubt everything. If I say 2 + 2 is 4 and you say, are you sure? That's a waste of time. All right? All right, you subscribe to my YouTube. That's good. All right. And my blog is right here. And again, if my blog is too hard, sometimes my blog might be too hard for you to understand. Guess what? You can type it into ChatGPT. Copy that. into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to help you understand it, and it will. It can even translate it for you in your language. Okay? People always look for shortcuts. That's right. Yeah. Learning a language is just like learning a musical instrument. Guess what? If you sign up to play the piano, you sign up for life. If you sign up to play the guitar, you sign up for life. If you sign up to play the drums, you sign up for life. There is no finishing the piano. There is no finishing the guitar. There is no finishing the drums. If you sign up for English, you are signing up for life. There is no finishing English. I am not finished with English. If I am not finished, then you are not finished. Okay? All right? There is no such thing as finishing. I know you want to sound good, just like a musician, right? A musician wants to sound good too, but a musician doesn't sound good in the beginning, right? Your daughter, if your daughter or your son start the violin, they started playing the violin, do they sound good in the first year? Have you ever heard a child play the violin in the first year? It sounds like somebody's killing a cat. It's terrible. It's terrible, right? But eventually, if they practice enough, they can play a song that sounds musical. And people say, wow, that sounded good. But they're not finished. They just learned how to play one song and sound good. Then they have to do another one. Piano is not easier than the violin. I've played both, and they're both hard. What kind of music do I like? James, I like every kind of music. Rock, jazz, blues, funk, Latin, pop, Indian, classical, African, bossa nova, samba, baile, Afro-Cuban. But easier than violin? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think, Libra, there is no such thing as an easy instrument, just like there's no such thing as an easy language. The difficulty of something is only in your mind, which means that if you think it's easier, then it's because you are not thinking of it the right way. Well, that's easier than this. But is it? If you ask a violinist and a concert pianist, if you ask two professionals, which one is easier, they're both going to say, no, mine is not harder, or they're equal. They're both going to say that. I promise you. I promise you. All right. Send this to the homeless. What? What? I don't know what that means. You started to play the violin and nobody wants to stay in the room now. It's hard, Romana. Yeah, it takes time before you can make the sounds sound good, right? The truth is, Romana, in music, sometimes in music, we say that to play an instrument, the first 10 years of playing an instrument is just learning how to play the instrument. After that, then you can make music. That's what we say. We say it takes about 10 years for you to actually learn the skills, the physical skills that are needed to really play an instrument well. But then after that, that's when you'll spend the next 10 years or the rest of your life using those skills to make good music. Okay? All right, would anybody like to come talk to me today? And hello, Johnny and Majda over there in my YouTube. You played the violin for 5 years as a child and it still didn't sound good. Right, I'm telling you that, yeah, it takes a long time to sound good at an instrument, right? Many people play the drums, but not everybody is a drummer. Do you see the difference? If you are a drummer, that means that you have played long enough that that is what you know. You have done it long enough to know it. If you have just played the drums for a while, then you're not a drummer yet. You just play the drums. There's a big difference. If you teach one class, are you a teacher? A girl has a news about a girl plays a shrill pipe in the wardrobe. What? Okay. Yeah, but everybody has different proficiencies too, right? So when I tried to play the guitar, my hands just did not work well for the guitar. I'm sure I could have done it if I stayed longer, if I stuck it out and played longer. But my hands felt more natural playing the drums. So there are some times when maybe one instrument seems more like you feel more natural doing it than others. That's why you should try some different instruments. Who's the best drummer, according to me? I know who my favorite drummer is, but there is no best. Okay, here's what I'll say. My favorite drummer is a guy named Steve Gadd, and he's a very, 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 very famous drummer who has played on hundreds and hundreds of records. He's played on more records than most people. So I'm sure you have heard him. Everybody here has heard him sometime because he's played on that many songs. So he's one of my favorites. But there is another guy. There's a new guy that's, what's his name? Estepario. He's a Spanish drummer. He's in Spain. I want to say he's in Barcelona, maybe? But there's a Spanish guy who plays drums now who is one of the most incredibly... I have never in my life ever seen a human being have so much coordination. He's like a robot. He makes even the best drummers of the best drummers look at him and go, whoa. And he does it so easily, too. So I will say he is one of the technically most proficient drummers, I think, in history. I think I can say that pretty safely. Yeah. But who's the best is that's a personal thing. That's up to you, you know? You like the concert flute. Okay. Yeah, I dated a flute girl when I was in high school. It didn't go well. The Spanish guy, I can't remember his full name, but I think you can find him, I think if you type in this, Estepario? I think that's it. Let me check. Yeah, Estepario Siberiano. El Estepario Siberiano. That's his name online. You can take a look online. I think that's it right there. Ringo. Yeah, Ringo's okay. Ringo's all right. Yeah, he honestly, you know who I'm talking about, Gray? Yeah, he is like an alien. Yeah, it's funny because there was another drummer from my back in the day. His name was Vinny Colaiuta, and he was originally the guy they used to say he's an alien. He can play anything. And this guy Estepario, even Vinny looks at this guy and goes, "Whoa!" Like whoa. So the guy we used to call the alien even thinks this guy is an alien. You know, he's that good. He's like a robot. It's crazy. It is honestly, I don't care if you know anything about drums. You'll watch this guy and you'll be like, how is that possible for a human to do that? How does he have so much control over his body? It's crazy. Yeah. Oh, weird. It corrected my words. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me try this. Okay, yeah, like watch this one here. Wait, why is it so small? Can I make it bigger? No? There we go. Okay, this is the guy, El Estepario. One-handed while he's drinking coffee. He's drinking coffee. One-handed. He's smoking a cigarette and drinking coffee. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't like the kind of music that he normally plays, but his skill level, his talent, his physical ability is absolutely incredible. Yeah, he does look like a bodybuilder. Yeah. Yeah. Do I know the guy? Yeah, Rick Allen from Def Leppard. Yeah. Yeah, everybody knows that story. I look like the guy from Dire Straits. All right. Could be worse, I suppose. All right, I'm still waiting for some questions, and nobody raised their hand to come talk to me, so I guess nobody wants to talk to me today. Why did I choose to play the drums? Because the drums are the most fun. Nobody can argue any different. There is no other instrument that's more fun than drumming. All the other instruments, they're not as much fun. That's it. That's really it. Why am I not inviting you for drinks? Where would I invite you for drinks? What? It means this is your thing? Yeah, right. Yeah. What's the difference between equipment and instrument? Equipment is more general, right? So the instrument, for example, if I play the violin, then the violin is my instrument, and the bow, maybe you could call part of your instrument too. But the case for the violin, that's part of your equipment, right? So equipment just means all the things you need to do something. That's the equipment, okay? But the instrument is the bigger word for the thing that you play, okay? Both hands and legs need flexibility for drumming. Well, yeah. Do I know Lindsay? Yeah, I know Lindsay. Lindsay has been banned from Hello Talk at least 3 times that I know about for spreading lies about me and other hosts. She's crazy, I think. I'm sorry, but I think she's crazy. I don't know who she is. I have never had a conversation with her. She talks about me like she knows me. She talks about me like she's some friend of me or something, a friend of mine. But I have no idea who she is, and I think she's crazy. She's spreading rumors. She's been banned a bunch of times. Yeah. So if she is, or I guess she's still spreading lies about me. I don't know what her problem is. I don't know. I think, like I said, I feel sorry to say this, but I think she's mentally not well. Unfortunately. And I say that my father is a psychologist, so I don't say those kinds of things very often because I take mental illness very seriously. But this girl is crazy. I hate to say that word, but it's true. A Marshall stack is an equipment. Well, yeah. I think some guitarists might actually argue that the speaker is part of the instrument. Some guitarists might say that it's an important part of the instrument too. For electric guitar. Yeah. Okay, nobody's still raising their hand. I don't know why. Is somebody maybe it's not allowed today, or maybe it's broken today? I don't know why. Nobody's raising their hand. No questions about English? People still want to talk about music and drums? Can mental illness be understood by speaking? Well, I don't know what you mean by that. Can it be, can you know that somebody is crazy from their speaking? Sometimes, yes. Sometimes it's very obvious. Why do we not do that in English? What do you mean? About equipment, you mean? I'm not sure I understand. Zhang Sun Peng. You're the one who asked me about Lindsay, right? Where did you see something from her? Is she still on Hello Talk? Because if she's on Hello Talk, please tell me so that I can report her again. Because she's supposed to be banned. She's supposed to be banned. She's not supposed to be on Hello Talk anymore. Oh, I mean, we talk about drums and music. Why not? Yeah, sure, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I love music. I love drums. I just, I'm aware that not everybody does. And I'm aware that most people came here for something else. It is been 1 hour and 26 minutes, so I have about 10 or 15 more minutes to be here. If you have questions, you should ask me. Okay? How can you improve your English spelling? I think I still have a page up about that. Wait a minute, let me see if I can find that page. Maybe I closed it. Let me see if it'll come up. One moment. Here is a page to help you with your spelling. Okay, go there and read that. It's a great page that has a lot of information about spelling. You see, I think there's another one. I can't find that other page. I have another page that I thought was really good for spelling tips, but I cannot find it now. So just go with that one for now, okay? You like drums because there's no need for electricity. Yeah, that's true, although we do have electronic drums now, too. And a lot of my equipment, you know, if I want to be heard, I need electricity. Well, I mean, people don't usually like the sound of drums when it's just by itself. Like, if they don't hear it the way it sounds on the record, then they're like, ooh, that doesn't sound good. So there is a lot of equipment that's needed to make it sound like the record, you know, and that's electronic equipment. So, was there, I guess, maybe they're gone? Okay. Weird. All right, well, if nobody's going to talk to me, All right, guys. I guess if you're not going to ask any more questions, I'm going to get going. So, Nanda wants to ask me something. What do you want to ask me, Ananda? I've got time for one more question. I'll be done in just 5 minutes. What's this? 12:20, 12:30. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fine. No problem.
All right.
I'll be done here in a minute. You used to watch some short movies on TikTok. Actually, you noticed that in their conversation they were saying things like she's a fraud. What does fraud mean? Fraud is basically they're probably saying she's a fake. She's a fake. She's a liar. Whatever she's doing is not real, not true. Somehow it's fake. Yeah, she's deceiving you somehow. Okay? She's a fraud. Means she's a fake. Or she's a criminal who's lying to you. Okay? Sometimes when we say she's a fraud, we don't really mean you're a criminal. We just mean like that person is full of beep. They don't know what they're talking about. They yeah. Don't listen to them because they don't know what they're talking about. They're a fraud, right? They say they know what they're talking about, but they don't. Okay? So sometimes it just means they're fake. But fraud is a crime. It means that you're pretending to, you're saying, hey, buy this hamburger. It's the best hamburger of all. But it's not even real. Like it's a fake meat, right? You're selling something you're saying it's a hamburger, but it's not a hamburger. That's fraud. Okay? Is a con a criminal? A con is short for con man. And con man is short for confidence man, Gray. So a con man is a confidence man. It means somebody who they trick you by gaining your confidence. They make you believe that they are a good person, so you give them money, and then they leave. They conned you. They gained your confidence, and then they took advantage. Okay? So that's where the word con comes from. Now, there's a second word, con, that's also meaning criminal. Convict. A convict is a convicted person, right? If you did something like I stole a car. If I stole a car and then they send me to jail, now I am a convict, right? I have been convicted. So I am a convict, and the short word that they say is he's a con, right? So there are two terms. One is convict, and one is con artist, and they are different. Yeah. Okay, and what was this? Is it rude to say this to someone? Probably, Nanda, yeah. If you call me a fraud, I will probably take offense, probably, because you're calling me a liar somehow. I mean, it depends, I mean, like, Nanda, sometimes you should call somebody a fraud if they are. Okay, but if you do, then they might get upset that you're saying it, okay, even if it's true, okay? All right, so that's going to be it for me today, guys. I need to get going. But if you didn't follow me yet, you should follow me. Here is my YouTube channel. Here is my website, and here is my blog. I have been on Hello Talk for 12 years. I've been a teacher since 1994. So I have 88,000 followers here. I'm here almost every day, Monday through Friday. Okay? So come watch, listen, learn. Come watch, listen, learn. Come watch, listen, learn. Okay? All right, that's it for me. I will see you guys next time. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.